Welcome to ISO 27001-2022 in 1 hour for busy learners. If you're stepping into the world of information security management without prior knowledge of ISO 27001-2022, you're in the right place. In the next hour, we'll embark on an enlightening journey to unravel the essentials of ISO 27001-2022. This course is tailored to give you a comprehensive yet concise introduction to this important standard, which shapes the way organizations protect their information assets. Get ready to gain valuable insights and foundational knowledge that will pave the way for your deeper exploration of information security management. Let's dive in. In today's digital age, information security is not just an IT concern, but a fundamental business imperative. It is crucial because information is one of the most valuable assets that an organization can possess. The importance of information security stems from the need to protect data from a growing number of threats, such as cyber attacks, data breaches, and insider threats. Information security ensures that data in any form is kept safe and only accessible to those with authorized access. This prevents unauthorized use, disclosure, disruption, modification, inspection, recording, or destruction of information. It's about maintaining the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data, often summed up as the CIA triad. The risks of not securing information can be profound. Data breaches can result in significant financial losses, legal repercussions, and damage to an organization's reputation. Customers trust businesses with their personal and sensitive information. If this trust is broken, it can lead to a loss of business and customer loyalty. Moreover, information security is not just about protecting against external threats. It is also about ensuring operational continuity and preventing any disruptions to business activities. It involves having the right backup and recovery procedures in place to deal with data loss or system failures. Therefore, an effective information security program is essential for managing and mitigating risks associated with the handling of sensitive data. It helps in aligning the right technology, processes, and people to safeguard information, ensuring that the business can continue to operate and grow in a secure and trusted environment. ISO 27001 is a widely recognized international standard that outlines the requirements for creating and maintaining a robust information security management system, ISMS. An ISMS is a systematic framework that deals with the protection of critical information of an organization. It involves a set of policies, procedures, and controls designed to manage the risks to information security. The standard falls under the broader ISO/IEC 27000 family, and its full title is ISO/IEC 27001. Information Technology, Security Techniques, Information Security Management Systems, Requirements. It's not industry-specific and is applicable to organizations of all sizes, from startups to large multinational corporations and across all sectors. The approach is comprehensive and considers not just IT, but all organizational processes. ISO 27001 uses a risk management process, encouraging organizations to identify potential threats to their information and put in place security measures to mitigate them. It's not just about what software or hardware solutions you use, but about the people, processes, and IT systems working harmoniously to protect your data. Implementing ISO 27001 helps businesses manage the security of assets like financial information, intellectual property, employee details, or information entrusted to them by third parties. By following ISO 27001, companies demonstrate a commitment to information security, which not only helps to protect their business, but also builds trust with customers and other stakeholders. It's like a seal of approval showing that your company takes the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of its data seriously. The history of ISO 27001 begins with its predecessor, the British Standard 7799, published by the British Standards Institution, BSI, in 1995. This was initially a code of practice for information security management, which evolved over time due to growing concerns about information protection. Recognizing the need for a robust, internationally recognized standard, the International Organization for Standardization, ISO, in conjunction with the International Electrotechnical Commission, IEC, adapted the British standard. The result was the publication of ISO IEC 27001 in 2005. This new standard was designed to provide a model for establishing, implementing, operating, monitoring, and improving an information security management system, ISMS. Since its inception, ISO 27001 has undergone revisions to keep up with the changing landscape of information security. The most significant update came in 2022, which brought a greater focus on risk management and a more agile approach to address the evolving nature of information risks. ISO 27001's history is not just about the evolution of a document, but also about the growing global awareness of the importance of information security. It reflects an understanding across industries and borders that protecting data is key to maintaining trust and ensuring the longevity and success of an organization. This standard has now become the benchmark for information security management worldwide, with thousands of companies in various sectors achieving certification to demonstrate their commitment to protecting their information assets. As threats continue to evolve, ISO 27001 remains a dynamic standard, adapting to provide a comprehensive framework for securing information in an ever-changing digital environment. In a hypothetical but all-too-common scenario, consider Fashion Front, a thriving retail company with both an online storefront and brick-and-mortar shops. They've been successful in attracting customers and have a robust database filled with sensitive customer information, including contact details and credit card numbers. However, Fashion Front's success has outpaced its investment in information security, leaving its digital storefront vulnerable. The lapse in security doesn't go unnoticed for long. A group of savvy hackers identifies a weak spot in the company's outdated security measures and manages to infiltrate their network. They install malware that quietly siphons off customer data, going undetected for several weeks. This data breach results in thousands of customers' personal and financial information being stolen. When the breach is finally discovered and becomes public knowledge, the ramifications are swift and severe. Customers feel their trust has been violated, leading to a sharp decline in loyalty and sales. Fashion Front finds itself on the wrong side of data protection laws, resulting in hefty fines that strain their financial resources. The costs continue to mount as they now have to invest in cybersecurity upgrades and extend compensation to the affected customers. The damage extends beyond the immediate financial hit. Fashion Front's once sterling reputation takes a nosedive as media outlets pick up the story, painting a picture of negligence. This reputational damage is not something that can be resolved with quick fixes. It will take years of dedicated effort and possibly a complete rebranding to regain the public's confidence. The day-to-day operations are thrown into chaos as the company scrambles to respond to the crisis. Resources are diverted from their intended purposes to deal with the aftermath of the attack, causing disruption in services and loss of operational efficiency. Furthermore, the legal consequences begin to stack up as customers, feeling exposed and angry, come together to file a class action lawsuit, adding to the long-term financial and reputational costs of the breach. This scenario illustrates a cascade of troubles that a typical business can face when information security is not prioritized. It underscores the vital importance of proactively adopting comprehensive information security measures, like those outlined in ISO 27001, to not only protect sensitive data, but also to safeguard the business's future. It's a cautionary tale that in the digital age, information security is not just about technology, but about the survival and continued success of a business. An information security management system, ISMS, is a systematic and structured approach to managing sensitive company information so that it remains secure. It encompasses a set of policies, procedures, technical and physical controls to protect the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information. The core idea of an ISMS is to establish a coherent set of guidelines and processes that systematically manage risks to an organization's information assets. By implementing an ISMS, an organization can ensure that it is continually assessing the risk landscape and adapting its security measures accordingly. This dynamic process not only helps protect information against the modern threat environment, but also aligns with the organization's evolving objectives and regulatory requirements. An ISMS includes various elements. It begins with a risk assessment, where an organization identifies potential threats to its information and analyses the impact of these threats should they materialize. Following this, the company would define a risk treatment plan to address the identified risks in line with its risk appetite. This could involve applying controls to reduce or eliminate the risks, such as technical defenses, implementing new policies, or conducting staff training to raise awareness of security issues. Once these controls are in place, the ISMS will require regular auditing and monitoring to ensure its effectiveness and to detect any breaches or gaps that might develop. This process is part of a continual improvement cycle where the organization learns from any security incidents or near misses and adjusts its ISMS to prevent future issues. An effective ISMS is often aligned with international standards, such as ISO IEC 27001, which provides a formalized framework for establishing, implementing, maintaining, and continually improving information security management. Compliance with such standards can also demonstrate to customers, suppliers, and stakeholders that the organization takes information security seriously. In summary, an ISMS is not a one-time setup, but a cycle of processes that continually evolves. It includes assessing risks, implementing controls to mitigate those risks, monitoring the effectiveness of the controls, and improving upon the processes. This comprehensive approach to information security management enables organizations to protect their information assets and build resilience against information security threats. Let's consider two businesses in the financial sector. Secure Bank, which has an information security management system, ISMS, in place, and Vulnerable Finance, which does not. Secure Bank has implemented an ISMS in line with ISO 27001 standards. As a result, they have a systematic approach to managing sensitive company information, ensuring it remains secure. They've identified all their information assets and assessed the risks associated with each, implementing appropriate controls to mitigate these risks. Their employees receive regular training on information security, and the company culture emphasizes the importance of protecting client data. Secure Bank regularly reviews and updates their security measures in response to new threats and changes in the business environment. Should a breach occur, they have a robust incident response plan that minimizes damage and recovers operations quickly. On the other hand, Vulnerable Finance operates without an ISMS. They have some sporadic security measures in place, but there's no cohesive system or understanding of their overall risk profile. Employee training on security is infrequent, and the importance of information security is not embedded in the company culture. When a new threat emerges, Vulnerable Finance reacts slowly, leaving them exposed for longer periods. If they suffer a data breach, the response is chaotic, causing significant operational downtime and damage to their reputation. The lack of an ISMS means they are also likely non-compliant with various regulations, which could result in fines and legal action. The contrast between the two is stark. SecureBank, with its ISMS, has a clear advantage in risk management, operational reliability, and regulatory compliance. They are better equipped to protect their assets, maintain customer trust, and ensure business continuity. Vulnerable Finance, without an ISMS, is at a competitive disadvantage. They face greater risk exposure, potential financial losses, and reputational damage, which could have been mitigated or even avoided with a proper ISMS in place. In summary, an ISMS provides a structured framework that helps businesses like SecureBank identify, evaluate, and address information security risks, creating a proactive culture of continuous improvement. In contrast, businesses like Vulnerable Finance, operating without an ISMS, are more reactive, less prepared, and likely to suffer greater consequences in the event of security incidents. In the context of ISO 27001, which sets out the criteria for an Information Security Management System, ISMS, the Plan Do Check Act PDCA cycle is a pivotal method for ensuring continuous improvement of information security processes. During the planning phase within ISO 27001, an organization defines its information security policy, objectives, and processes relevant to managing risk and improving information security to deliver results in line with the overall business aims. This is where the scope of the ISMS is determined, a risk assessment is carried out, and risk treatment plans are formulated. The doing phase sees the ISMS being implemented and operated. The organization puts its information security policies and controls into action to manage identified risks and achieve its information security objectives. Employee training, process adjustments, and security measures are deployed during this phase. In the checking phase, the organization monitors and reviews the performance of the ISMS. This involves regularly measuring the effectiveness of policies, controls, and procedures against the information security objectives. Regular auditing, both internal and external, plays a crucial role in this phase, as it helps to identify whether the ISMS is functioning as intended and whether the risk treatment plan is effective. Finally, in the acting phase, also referred to as the improvement phase in ISO 27001, the organization takes corrective and preventive actions based on the results from the check phase. Any deficiencies are addressed and the ISMS is refined and improved upon. This could lead to changes in policies, the introduction of new controls, or enhancement of existing procedures. The PDCA cycle in ISO 27001 facilitates a dynamic approach to information security management, promoting adaptability and responsiveness to new information security threats and changes in the organization or its environment. By iterating through these phases, an organization not only maintains its ISMS effectively, but also enhances its ability to protect against information security breaches, ensuring that it can adapt to new threats as they emerge. Risk management is a central pillar of the ISO 27001 standard, forming the cornerstone of an effective information security management system, ISMS. The purpose of risk management within ISO 27001 is to ensure that the security controls for an organization are adequate and proportionate to the risks it faces, meaning that they're neither overbearing and restrictive nor lax and insufficient. The risk management process in ISO 27001 begins with risk assessment, which involves the identification of information assets that could be affected by a breach, the threats that could lead to such breaches, and the vulnerabilities that could be exploited. This phase considers both internal and external threats, whether they are from malicious actors, accidental actions of employees, or environmental factors. Once risks are identified, the next step is to analyze and evaluate them. This means determining the potential impact on the organization should the risk materialize and the likelihood of this occurring. Each risk is given a score based on its severity, which helps in prioritizing them. Following the assessment and evaluation, the organization must decide how to address these risks. ISO 27001 doesn't prescribe specific solutions, but instead suggests four treatment options: accepting the risk if it's within the organization's risk appetite, avoiding the risk by not engaging in certain activities, transferring the risk, possibly through insurance, or mitigating the risk by implementing appropriate controls. The selection of controls to mitigate risks is guided by Annex A of ISO 27001, which provides a comprehensive set of security control objectives and controls. Organizations select the controls that are relevant to their identified risks and integrate them into their ISMS. These controls are not only technical solutions like firewalls or encryption, but also cover organizational processes, legal compliance, physical security, human resources, and more. After the controls are in place, the organization needs to monitor and review the risks and the effectiveness of the controls on an ongoing basis. This is critical because the risk landscape is not static. New threats emerge and existing threats evolve. The monitoring phase ensures that the organization can respond to these changes in a timely and effective manner. Lastly, risk management in ISO 27001 is iterative. The organization must continually cycle through these steps, reassessing and responding to new risks, ensuring that the ISMS remains effective over time. This ongoing process helps organizations not only to protect their information assets, but also to adapt to the changing context in which they operate, maintaining resilience and security in the long term. ISO 27001 structures its guidelines into a series of clauses that together create a comprehensive framework for an information security management system, ISMS. These clauses guide an organization through the process of establishing, implementing, maintaining, and improving their ISMS. It begins with Clause 4, which focuses on understanding the organization and its context. This requires a company to assess its own unique environment, considering any internal or external issues that might impact the effectiveness of the ISMS. It's also about defining the scope of the system and recognizing the needs of stakeholders that might influence information security requirements. Clause 5 shifts the focus to leadership, underscoring the importance of executive support in the success of the ISMS. It mandates that the organization's leadership must not only be involved, but must also ensure that the information security policy is compatible with the strategic direction of the organization. This sets the tone for information security, signifying its importance from the top down. In Clause 6, planning is addressed. The organization must perform a thorough risk assessment, identify the risks to information security, and determine the opportunities for improvement within the ISMS. It's about establishing objectives and processes necessary to deliver results in accordance with the organization's information security policy. Support, covered in Clause 7, is critical for the ISMS to operate effectively. It outlines the need for sufficient resources, competencies, and awareness among staff. It also touches on the necessity of communication and the management of documented information within the ISMS. Clause 8 speaks to the operation of the ISMS. This involves the practical side of managing risks, implementing the necessary actions, managing information security risks, and documenting the processes involved in doing so. Performance evaluation in Clause 9 requires organizations to regularly assess the ISMS's performance. This includes continuous monitoring, internal audits, and regular management reviews to ensure the system's effectiveness and to identify areas for improvement. Finally, Clause 10 focuses on the need for continual improvement. It's about learning from experiences, analyzing data, and making ongoing adjustments to enhance the ISMS over time. This clause is the driving force behind the iterative nature of the ISMS, pushing organizations to strive for better security practices continually. Together, these clauses form the backbone of ISO 27001, ensuring that an organization's ISMS is not only effective at its inception, but remains so through ongoing vigilance and improvement. Each clause is integral to building a resilient and responsive information security management system that can adapt to the changing landscape of threats and business needs. Clause 4 of ISO 27001 emphasizes understanding the organization and its context, which is crucial for setting up an effective information security management system, ISMS. This involves identifying both internal and external issues that are relevant to the organization's purpose and that could affect its information security performance. It also includes understanding the needs and expectations of interested parties, such as customers, suppliers, and legal regulatory bodies. Applying Clause 4 to Fashionfront, we can see how a lack of understanding of their organizational context led to their downfall. As a thriving retail company, Fashionfront grew rapidly, expanding their online and physical presence. However, their focus on growth did not match their attention to the security of their sensitive customer data. They failed to recognize the evolving external threats, such as sophisticated cyber attacks, and did not consider the increasing expectations of customers and regulators regarding data security. Had Fashionfront properly applied Clause 4 of ISO 27001, they would have conducted an analysis of their internal context, like their reliance on digital processes and the sensitivity of the customer data they held. They would also have looked at external factors, such as the evolving nature of cyber threats and the legal requirements for data protection. This understanding would have led them to realize the critical need for robust information security measures as part of their business strategy. This failure to recognize their changing environment and stakeholder expectations left them vulnerable to the cyber attack, leading to significant financial, reputational, and legal consequences. The breach, once discovered, resulted in a loss of customer trust, hefty fines for non-compliance, a damaged reputation, operational disruptions, and legal ramifications from customer lawsuits. In summary, Clause 4 of ISO 27001 is about setting the foundation for an ISMS by fully understanding the organization's internal and external context. For Fashionfront, a better grasp of their organizational context could have highlighted the importance of information security, potentially preventing the severe consequences they faced. This illustrates the critical nature of this clause in the overall effectiveness of an organization's ISMS. Clause 5 of ISO 27001 emphasizes the importance of leadership in the success of an information security management system, ISMS. This clause mandates that top management must actively demonstrate their commitment to information security. They are responsible for ensuring that the information security policy and objectives are established and are compatible with the strategic direction of the organization. Leadership must also ensure that the necessary resources are allocated to establish, implement, maintain, and continually improve the ISMS. This involvement from the top management is crucial as it sets the tone for organizational culture and priorities regarding information security. In the case of Fashionfront, a key issue was the lack of leadership engagement with information security. While the company was successful in expanding, their leadership did not prioritize or adequately invest in robust security measures. This oversight can be seen as a failure to fulfill the requirements of Clause 5. Had the leadership at Fashionfront been actively involved in their ISMS, they would have established and enforced a strong information security policy. They would have ensured that the company's strategic growth plans included proportional enhancements to their security infrastructure. This would involve not just approving budgets for security technologies, but also fostering a culture of security awareness throughout the organization. Furthermore, effective leadership would have entailed regular reviews of the security policies and systems, adapting them as the company grew and as new threats emerged. This proactive approach could have prevented the data breach or at least mitigated its impact. The breach at Fashion Front exemplifies the consequences of inadequate leadership in information security. The lack of a strategic approach to security, insufficient resources for security measures, and the absence of a pervasive culture of security awareness ultimately led to significant financial and reputational damage. Therefore, Clause 5 of ISO 27001 highlights the critical role of leadership in embedding information security into the fabric of an organization, which Fashion Front's leadership failed to do, resulting in a catastrophic breach. Clause 6 of ISO 27001 centers on the planning aspect of the Information Security Management System, ISMS. It requires organizations to assess information security risks by identifying potential threats and vulnerabilities, and then evaluate the possible impacts. Based on this risk assessment, the organization must establish information security objectives and plans to address these risks. This planning stage is crucial as it guides the subsequent selection and implementation of security controls. Applying Clause 6 to the scenario of Fashion Front, it becomes clear where their approach fell short. As a growing retail business with a significant online presence, Fashion Front should have conducted a thorough risk assessment to identify potential security threats to their customer database and e-commerce platform. This risk assessment would have likely revealed vulnerabilities in their system, such as outdated security measures that were eventually exploited by hackers. Had Fashion Front adhered to the planning requirements of Clause 6, they would have then set clear information security objectives focused on protecting customer data and maintaining the integrity and availability of their online services. Following the establishment of these objectives, a detailed plan involving specific security controls and measures would have been developed. This could have included upgrading their cybersecurity software, implementing stronger access controls, and regularly reviewing their security infrastructure for emerging threats. The absence of such planning in Fashion Front's strategy led to their critical customer data being exposed and stolen. This oversight not only resulted in a direct breach of customer trust and financial loss, but also highlighted a significant gap in their overall approach to information security management. In summary, Clause 6 of ISO 27001 underscores the importance of proactive planning in managing information security risks. For Fashion Front, adhering to this clause by conducting a comprehensive risk assessment and establishing a robust security plan could have significantly reduced their vulnerability to cyber attacks and mitigated the subsequent damage. Clause 7 of ISO 27001, titled Support, emphasizes the importance of providing adequate resources, ensuring competence, raising awareness, maintaining communication, and managing documented information for the effective implementation and maintenance of an Information Security Management System, ISMS. For an organization like Fashion Front, compliance with Clause 7 would mean ensuring that they have the necessary human, technological, and financial resources to implement and sustain their ISMS. This would involve investing in up-to-date security technologies, hiring experienced cybersecurity professionals, and providing ongoing training to all employees to raise their awareness about information security risks and best practices. In the case of Fashion Front, a key issue was the lack of investment in the necessary resources to support their information security needs. This lack of support is evident in their use of outdated security software, which made them vulnerable to the cyber attack. Had they allocated sufficient resources for regular updates and cybersecurity enhancements, they might have prevented the breach. Moreover, Clause 7 also covers the importance of raising awareness about information security across the organization. Fashion Front's employees might have been better prepared to recognize and respond to security threats if they had received regular training and updates about potential cybersecurity risks and their roles in protecting the company's information assets. Effective communication is another crucial element under Clause 7. Fashion Front needed to establish strong internal and external communication protocols regarding their information security policies and procedures. This would ensure that all stakeholders, including employees, customers, and partners, are informed about the company's approach to information security. Lastly, managing documented information is essential. This includes maintaining and reviewing documentation related to the ISMS, such as policies, procedures, and records of activities like risk assessments and audits. Proper documentation management ensures that the ISMS remains effective and can be continually improved upon. In summary, Clause 7 of ISO 27001 highlights the necessity of providing comprehensive support to ensure the effectiveness of an ISMS. For Fashion Front, a more robust approach to resourcing, awareness, communication, and documentation management could have significantly bolstered their information security posture and potentially prevented the damaging cyber attack they experienced. Clause 8 of ISO 27001, titled Operation, focuses on the execution and management of the processes and actions planned in the earlier stages of the Information Security Management System, ISMS. This clause is about putting into action the risk treatment plans and controls that have been identified during the risk assessment and planning phases. It involves ensuring that these security measures are properly implemented and integrated into the organization's everyday operations. In the case of Fashion Front, their failure in the operational aspect of their ISMS was a significant factor leading to the data breach. Even if Fashion Front had identified risks and planned appropriate controls, as per clauses 6 and 7, it's clear that these were not effectively operationalized. This might involve inadequacies in deploying necessary security technologies, not effectively updating their systems, or failing to enforce security policies among staff. For effective operation under Clause 8, Fashion Front should have actively managed and executed their risk treatment plans. This would include regularly updating their cybersecurity software, ensuring that all systems are patched against known vulnerabilities, and actively monitoring for signs of security breaches. Additionally, it would involve ensuring that all employees are not just aware of the security policies, but are also following them diligently in their daily activities. Furthermore, Clause 8 emphasizes the need for proper documentation and recording of these operational processes. This is critical for tracking the effectiveness of the controls and for audit purposes. Fashion Front's lack of operational rigor in implementing their security measures likely left them vulnerable to the attack, demonstrating that planning without effective execution is insufficient for robust information security. In summary, Clause 8 of ISO 27001 underscores the importance of not just planning for information security, but also ensuring that these plans are put into action effectively. For Fashion Front, a more rigorous and diligent approach to operationalizing their information security plans could have significantly mitigated the risks of a cyber attack and its subsequent impacts on their business. Clause 9 of ISO 27001, titled Performance Evaluation, emphasizes the importance of assessing and evaluating the Information Security Management System, ISMS, to ensure its effectiveness and conformity. This clause involves monitoring, measuring, and analyzing the ISMS alongside regular internal audits and management reviews. The key objective here is to provide ongoing visibility into the ISMS's performance and to identify areas for improvement. In the context of Fashion Front, a rigorous application of Clause 9 could have significantly altered their security posture. If Fashion Front had effectively monitored and measured the performance of their ISMS, they might have identified vulnerabilities in their system before the hackers did. Performance evaluation includes tracking the effectiveness of implemented security controls and assessing whether these controls are meeting the set security objectives. Regular internal audits are a critical component of this clause. These audits would have allowed Fashion Front to systematically examine their information security processes and controls, Through such audits, Fashionfront could have identified the outdated security software and the areas where their information security policies were not being properly followed. Management reviews, another essential element of Clause 9, would involve top management in regularly reviewing the ISMS's performance. If Fashionfront's management had been actively reviewing audit results, risk assessments, and performance indicators, they would have been more aware of the potential risks and could have taken proactive measures to strengthen their security. Unfortunately, without a strong performance evaluation process, Fashionfront remained oblivious to their vulnerabilities until the breach occurred. The lack of ongoing monitoring and evaluation likely contributed to their inability to detect and respond to the breach in a timely manner, resulting in significant damage to their customer trust, financial status, and reputation. In summary, Clause 9 of ISO 27001 highlights the necessity of continuously evaluating and improving the ISMS. For Fashionfront, regular and effective performance evaluation could have provided critical insights into the weaknesses in their security measures, potentially preventing the damaging cyber attack they experienced. Clause 10 of ISO 27001, titled Improvement, is focused on the continuous enhancement of the Information Security Management System, ISMS. This clause requires organizations to proactively identify and implement opportunities to improve the effectiveness of their ISMS. It encompasses addressing any nonconformities with corrective actions, making continual refinements to security processes and controls, and responding to changes in the risk environment or organizational context. In the context of Fashionfront, adherence to Clause 10 would have been crucial after the data breach. This clause would require them to conduct a thorough analysis of the breach to understand how and why it happened. Based on this analysis, Fashionfront would need to identify corrective actions to address the specific weaknesses that led to the breach, such as updating their cybersecurity software or revising their security policies. Moreover, Clause 10 is about not just reacting to incidents, but also proactively seeking opportunities for improvement. This means that Fashionfront should regularly review and update their ISMS to address new and emerging threats. They would need to stay informed about the latest cybersecurity trends and threats and continually assess and update their security measures accordingly. In addition, this clause also involves ensuring that improvements are made in a systematic manner. For Fashionfront, this would mean integrating the lessons learned from the breach into their overall ISMS, ensuring that similar incidents can be prevented in the future. This could involve training employees on new security protocols, improving incident response plans, or investing in more advanced security technologies. Unfortunately, the lack of such an improvement process at Fashionfront led to their inability to prevent or mitigate the impact of the data breach. Their situation exemplifies the consequences of not having a dynamic and continually evolving ISMS. In summary, Clause 10 of ISO 27001 highlights the importance of a continuous improvement mindset in managing information security. For Fashionfront, a proactive approach to identifying and implementing improvements in their ISMS could have not only helped in responding to the breach more effectively, but also in preventing future security incidents. In ISO 27001, the foundation of an effective information security management system, ISMS, is built on a set of mandatory documents. These documents are essential not just for compliance with the standard, but also for the practical implementation and operation of the ISMS. The process begins with defining the scope of the ISMS, which is a document that delineates the boundaries and applicability of the ISMS. It specifies what information, locations, and technology are included, ensuring that the ISMS is tailored to the specific needs and context of the organization. Central to the ISMS is the Information Security Policy, a high-level policy document that reflects the organization's approach to information security. This policy, emanating from the directives of top management, sets the tone and direction for all security-related activities. Crucial to risk management within the ISMS are the Risk Assessment and Risk Treatment Methodology documents. These outline the approach the organization will take to assess risks to its information assets and the methods it will employ to manage or mitigate these risks. The Statement of Applicability is another key document. It lists all the controls from ISO 27001 Annex A and states which ones are applicable to the organization. This document is integral for justifying the inclusion or exclusion of each control, aligning the ISMS with the organization's unique risk profile. Accompanying this is the Risk Treatment Plan, detailing the actions the organization will take to address the identified risks. It typically links to the relevant controls in Annex A, providing a roadmap for risk mitigation. The Risk Assessment Report is a comprehensive record of the risks identified, their owners, and the decisions made about their treatment. This report is a living document, updated as the risk landscape evolves. Information security objectives are also documented, outlining measurable and specific goals that align with the organization's overall information security policy. These objectives are key to guiding and evaluating the ISMS's performance. Documentation of evidence of competence ensures that all staff involved in the ISMS possess the necessary education, training, and experience. This is crucial for the effective operation of the ISMS. The standard also requires evidence of ISMS monitoring, demonstrating the ongoing observation, measurement, and evaluation of the ISMS's effectiveness. The Internal Audit Program and Results document is a record of the internal audit process and findings. This provides insights into the ISMS's performance and areas for improvement. Additionally, records of the Information Security Management Review by top management are kept, ensuring that the ISMS remains aligned with organizational objectives and is effectively managed. Lastly, documentation of nonconformities and corrective actions is maintained. This includes records of any failures to comply with the ISMS requirements, actions taken to correct these nonconformities, and the outcomes of these actions. Together, these documents form the backbone of the ISMS, providing a structured approach to managing information security and demonstrating the organization's commitment to protecting its information assets. They are not static but are subject to review and update, reflecting the dynamic nature of information security and the organization's evolving needs. Annex A 2022 is an integral component of the ISO/IEC 27001-2022 standard. It serves as a comprehensive guide for organizations seeking to effectively manage information security risks. Comprising 93 controls, Annex A 2022 represents a streamlined version compared to its predecessor, which featured 114 controls. This reduction in the number of controls aims to enhance clarity and simplify implementation. Additionally, the controls have been restructured to facilitate better comprehension and adoption. Annex A 2022 is categorized into 4 primary sections. First, organizational controls. These controls address the overall management of information security within an organization. They encompass aspects such as information security policies, objectives, and responsibilities. Second, people controls. These controls focus on fostering security awareness and training among employees. They emphasize the importance of educating personnel about information security risks and promoting responsible behavior. Third, physical controls. These controls safeguard the physical security of IT assets. They encompass measures such as access control systems, physical security devices, and environmental controls to protect IT infrastructure from unauthorized access or damage. Fourth, technological controls. These controls protect the security of IT systems and networks. They encompass measures such as access control mechanisms, encryption, and vulnerability management to safeguard sensitive data and systems from cyber attacks. Annex A 2022 serves as a valuable resource for organizations seeking to enhance their information security posture. By implementing the recommended controls, organizations can effectively identify, assess, and manage information security risks, ultimately strengthening their overall security posture. The organizational category of controls in ISO 27001-2022 Annex A is fundamental to establishing an effective information security management system, ISMS, in any organization, including Fashion Front. With 37 distinct controls, this category offers a framework for systematically managing information security risks. These controls span various areas, including information security policies, human resource security, asset management, and supplier relationships. For Fashion Front, applying these controls means aligning their security policies with the company's business goals and complying with legal and regulatory obligations. Specifically, it involves creating and enforcing policies that address the unique risks of a retail business, both online and offline. Key aspects like human resource security become pivotal. Fashion Front can use these controls to educate and train their employees, contractors, and third-party users, ensuring everyone understands their role in maintaining security. This is crucial in a retail setting where staff turnover can be high and training is essential to maintain security standards. Asset management is another critical area. Fashion Front would benefit from a robust system to track and manage both physical assets, like store equipment, and digital assets, such as customer data. This system ensures that assets are used appropriately and protected adequately. Additionally, managing supplier relationships is vital, especially for a retail company like Fashion Front that might rely on various third-party services. These controls ensure that suppliers adhere to the same security standards as Fashion Front, particularly when they handle customer data or integrate with the company's IT systems. By implementing these organizational controls, Fashion Front can establish a comprehensive and effective ISMS. This system not only protects the company's assets and data, but also fosters a culture of security awareness and continuous improvement in their security practices. It positions Fashion Front to respond better to the evolving retail landscape and customer expectations regarding data protection and privacy. As we progress from organizational controls, we now focus on the people category of controls in ISO 27001, particularly relevant to Fashion Front, which employs remote workers. This category encompasses 8 critical controls addressing the human elements of information security, crucial for a retail business like Fashion Front that operates both online and offline. For Fashion Front, confidentiality controls are paramount, especially for staff handling sensitive customer data remotely. Implementing policies on how to handle and store confidential information is essential. Utilizing encryption and other technical measures helps ensure that remote employees protect sensitive data from unauthorized disclosure. Non-disclosure controls are also vital. Fashion Front can enforce these through agreements that prevent remote workers from sharing sensitive information. Security awareness training plays a key role here, educating remote staff about the importance of maintaining confidentiality and the consequences of data breaches. Screening controls are another critical aspect for Fashion Front. Before hiring remote workers, conducting thorough background checks, reference verifications, and, where applicable, security clearance checks are necessary. These measures help ascertain the trustworthiness of remote employees and mitigate potential security risks. Moving on to the physical controls category of ISO 27001 Annex A, this is particularly pertinent for Fashion Front given its physical retail presence alongside its online operations. This category includes measures to prevent unauthorized physical access to the company's premises, assets, and information, all critical for a retail business. For Fashion Front, ensuring the security of its physical locations is as important as protecting its digital assets. The implementation of physical control measures such as security guards, access control systems, and surveillance cameras is essential. These measures guard against unauthorized access to their stores and safeguard against theft or damage to physical assets like inventory and equipment. Additionally, sophisticated security technologies like biometric identification systems could be employed by Fashionfront for more secure access control, especially in areas where sensitive information or high-value items are stored. Another crucial aspect under this category for Fashionfront is the secure storage and transportation of information and assets. This involves establishing and adhering to procedures for managing and tracking the movement of physical data carriers and merchandise. It's especially important for a retail company that deals with a mix of physical products and sensitive customer information. By effectively implementing these physical control measures, as outlined in Annex A of ISO 27001, Fashionfront can significantly enhance the security and integrity of its physical and information assets. This comprehensive approach to security is vital in ensuring that both the physical and digital realms of the business are safeguarded against unauthorized access, theft, or damage, thereby maintaining the trust of their customers and stakeholders. The next category is technological controls, as detailed in Annex A of ISO 27001. It comprises 34 specific controls that are fundamental in safeguarding IT systems and ensuring the security of information within an organization. These controls are diverse and are designed to address various aspects of IT security. Central to these controls is the prevention of unauthorized access to IT systems. This is achieved through robust access control mechanisms like user authentication and role-based access controls. These measures ensure that only authorized personnel can access sensitive information, maintaining the confidentiality and integrity of the data. Another crucial aspect is encryption, which plays a vital role in protecting data, especially when it's stored or transmitted. By converting data into a coded format, encryption ensures that it remains secure and inaccessible to unauthorized users. Monitoring and logging form another essential part of technological controls. They involve keeping track of system activities and user actions, helping in the early detection of any anomalies or potential security threats. This proactive monitoring is key to identifying and responding to security incidents swiftly. Backup and recovery procedures are also included in these controls. They are crucial for data protection, ensuring that there's a fallback in case of data loss or system failures. Regular backups and efficient recovery processes are essential for business continuity. Interestingly, physical security measures are also considered part of technological controls. This includes securing the physical hardware and locations where IT systems are housed, such as data centers and server rooms, against threats like theft, vandalism, or environmental hazards. The overarching goal of these controls is to maintain the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data. They are designed to protect information from being accessed by unauthorized individuals, ensure the accuracy and completeness of the data, and guarantee that it's available to authorized users when needed. To remain effective against evolving cyber threats, these technological controls require regular reviews and updates. Keeping them up to date ensures that they can provide robust protection against the latest security vulnerabilities and threats, maintaining a secure IT environment. The ISO 27001 certification process is a comprehensive and structured approach that organizations undertake to validate their Information Security Management System, ISMS, against the recognized standard. This journey begins with a thorough understanding of the ISO 27001 standard. An organization must first familiarize itself with the standard's requirements, often requiring study, training, or external consultation to fully grasp its implications and applications. Following this initial phase, the organization conducts a gap analysis. This critical step involves assessing the current state of its information security practices against the ISO 27001 requirements, identifying areas that need development or enhancement to meet the standard. Once the gaps are identified, the organization moves to implement an ISMS tailored to its specific needs and risks. This process includes establishing appropriate security policies, identifying and analyzing risks, and implementing controls to manage these risks. It also involves setting up procedures for the ongoing management, monitoring, and review of the ISMS. An internal audit is then conducted to evaluate the ISMS against the ISO 27001 standards. This internal audit serves as a rehearsal for the external audit, helping to uncover any remaining inconsistencies or areas for improvement. After the internal audit, top management reviews the ISMS and audit findings. This management review ensures that the ISMS aligns with the organization's strategic goals and is functioning as intended. The next significant step is choosing an accredited certification body. This external body will conduct the formal audit required for certification. The audit process is typically divided into two stages. Stage 1, the preliminary audit, focuses on reviewing the ISMS documentation to ensure it meets ISO 27001 requirements. Stage 2 is the main audit, where the auditor conducts a thorough assessment to verify that the ISMS has been effectively implemented and is operating in accordance with the standard. This stage includes a detailed examination of the practices and controls in place. If any non-conformities are identified during the external audit, the organization must address these. This may involve making changes to the ISMS and demonstrating to the auditors that these issues have been resolved. Upon successful completion of the Stage 2 audit and resolution of any non-conformities, the organization is awarded the ISO 27001 certification. This certification is a testament to the organization's commitment to information security and is valid for 3 years, albeit with annual surveillance audits. These surveillance audits are crucial as they ensure ongoing compliance and the effectiveness of the ISMS. After 3 years, the organization undergoes a full audit for recertification, ensuring that its ISMS remains up to date and effective in the ever-evolving landscape of information security. Throughout the certification process, the emphasis is not solely on compliance, but on fostering a culture of continuous improvement in information security management. This journey enhances the organization's security posture, builds stakeholder trust, and ensures a resilient approach to managing information security risks. As we reach the conclusion of our course on ISO 27001, I'd like to extend an invitation to you to further your knowledge and skills in information security management. If you found this course insightful and are eager to delve deeper into the world of ISO 27001, we have a range of advanced courses that can help you progress on your learning journey. For those looking to build a strong foundation, consider our ISO 27001-2022 Foundation by Example and ISO 27001-2022 Foundation Practice Test courses. These will solidify your understanding and prepare you for practical applications. If you're ready to transition to the latest standards, our ISO 27001-2022 Transition course is an excellent next step. It offers insights into the updates and how they impact existing ISMS practices. For a comprehensive understanding of implementation, we offer ISO 27001-2022 Implementation and ISO 27001-2022 Implementation Step-by-Step courses. These will guide you through the practical aspects of setting up and managing an effective ISMS in your organization. To dive deeper into specific aspects, Our ISO 27001-2022 Information Security Controls Explained course provides an in-depth look at the various controls and how to apply them effectively. For those aspiring to lead audits, our ISO 27001-2022 Lead Auditor course and ISO 27001-2002 Lead Auditor Exam Prep will equip you with the knowledge and skills to conduct successful audits and lead audit teams. Each of these courses is designed to enhance your understanding and capabilities in information security management, helping you to achieve your personal and professional goals. We encourage you to explore these opportunities by visiting our course catalog to further your expertise in ISO 27001 and advance your career in information security management.